Welcome back to my YouTube channel DOLLAR.U.S.A, a channel where American coin history comes alive. In today's, we explore three iconic United States $1 coins from the Eisenhower era, 1971, no mint mark, 1972D, and 1977D, each carrying the proud word liberty and the legacy of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. From the return of the dollar coin in 1971, to high-mintage Denver issues, to the final years before the end of large-sized dollar coins, these pieces reflect America's journey through leadership, space exploration, and changing money systems. Join us as we break down their history, design, mint marks, composition, value, and collector importance, all in one place. If you love real coin stories, hidden details, and classic U.S. currency, you're in the right place. Subscribe and explore America's coins. Top 1. The United States $1 coin no mint mark is historically very important because it marks the return of the U.S. dollar coin after a long gap and introduces the famous Eisenhower dollar, often called the Ike dollar. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. After the peace dollar series ended in 1935, the United States stopped producing regular circulating dollar coins for decades. By the late 1960s, rising silver prices and the public's growing interest in larger denomination coins led Congress to approve a new dollar coin. In 1970, legislation authorized a dollar honoring President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and a highly respected World War II Supreme Allied commander. The first circulating Eisenhower dollars were released in 1971, making this coin a true milestone in U.S. coinage history. On the obverse front of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar, the design features a bold left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Above his head appears the word liberty, symbolizing American freedom and democratic values. Below the portrait is the date 1971, and near the neckline is the motto "In God We Trust." The design was created by Chief Engraver Frank Gasparo, who aimed to give Eisenhower a strong, dignified appearance that reflected both his military leadership and presidency. The obverse design is clean and powerful, emphasizing stability, patriotism, and national pride, key themes of the Cold War era when the coin was introduced. The reverse back of the 1971 no mint mark dollar is equally symbolic and inspired by American achievement. It depicts a bald eagle landing on the moon, holding an olive branch in its talons. This design directly references the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969, one of the greatest technological achievements in human history. Above the eagle is the inscription United States of America, and below it is $1. Around the edge are 13 stars, representing the original 13 American colonies. This reverse design strongly connects American ideals of peace, olive branch, strength, eagle, and progress, space exploration, making the 1971 Eisenhower dollar not just a coin, but a historic symbol of American ambition and success. In terms of composition, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar with no mint mark is not silver. It is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This was done to keep production costs low and to preserve silver for collectors and bullion. The coin weighs 22.68 grams, has a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, and a reeded edge. Although special collector versions of Eisenhower dollars were struck in silver at the San Francisco Mint, the Philadelphia $1,971 is strictly a base metal circulating issue. The mintage of the 1971 no mint mark Eisenhower dollar was very high, with approximately 47.8 million coins produced. Despite this large number, many coins did not circulate heavily because the public found the dollar coin too large and heavy for everyday use. As a result, many were saved in bank vaults, drawers, and collections. This limited circulation is why many examples today can still be found in relatively decent condition compared to other coins of the same age. When it comes to value, the 1971 no mint mark Eisenhower dollar is generally considered a common coin. In circulated condition, it is usually worth face value or slightly more, often around $1.10 to $2, depending on wear and demand. However, coins in uncirculated condition, MS-60 to MS-63, may sell for $3 to $8, while higher-grade examples like MS-65 or above can command $15 to $40 or more, especially if they have strong luster and minimal marks. Rarely, exceptionally high-grade specimens certified by professional grading services can sell for even higher prices. Collectors also pay attention to varieties and strike quality. Early Eisenhower dollars, including the 1971 issues, sometimes show weak strikes, especially in the hair details and on the eagle's feathers. Coins with sharper details are more desirable. Although the 1971 no mint mark does not have major famous errors like some later issues, error coins such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks can be worth significantly more to collectors. Historically, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar represents a turning point in U.S. monetary policy and coin design. It reflects a time when America was transitioning away from silver coinage and celebrating modern achievements like space exploration. It also honors a president who symbolized leadership, strength, and international cooperation. Even though it did not become popular in daily commerce, the Eisenhower dollar remains deeply respected among collectors and historians. In summary, the 1971 United States $1 Liberty No Mint mark is a Philadelphia-minted Eisenhower dollar, made of copper-nickel clad metal, issued in large numbers, and rich in historical and symbolic meaning. While it may not be rare or highly valuable in circulated condition, it holds an important place in American numismatic history and is a must-have coin for anyone interested in U.S. dollars, presidential coinage, or Cold War-era America. If you want, I can also help you with YouTube narration, coin comparison, or collector value charts for this coin next. Top 2. The 1972 United States $1 coin, commonly known as the Eisenhower dollar or Ike dollar, is an important piece of American numismatic history that represents a unique blend of presidential honor, Cold War symbolism, and changing U.S. monetary policy. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the D Mint mark located on the obverse near the date. The Eisenhower dollar series began in 1971 and continued through 1978, honoring Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and the Supreme Commander of Allied Forces during World War II. The 1972 D issue belongs to the early years of this series, a time when the U.S. government was experimenting with reintroducing large-sized dollar coins into everyday circulation after decades of absence. The obverse front of the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar features a strong left-facing portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, designed by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. Above Eisenhower's head is the word Liberty, boldly engraved to emphasize the core American ideal of freedom. Below the portrait appears the date 1972, and to the right of the date is the D Mint mark, confirming its production at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The national motto "In God We Trust" is inscribed to the left of Eisenhower's neck. The portrait reflects Eisenhower's calm authority, leadership, and integrity, symbolizing both his military achievements and his presidency during a critical period of global tension. The reverse back of the 1972 D dollar continues the powerful symbolism introduced with the Eisenhower dollar series. It shows a bald eagle descending onto the surface of the moon, clutching an olive branch. This design was inspired by the Apollo 11 lunar landing in 1969, an event that showcased American scientific and technological dominance during the space race. Surrounding the eagle are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies. The inscriptions "United States of America" and $1 frame the design. This reverse design sends a strong message of peace, exploration, and national pride, blending traditional American imagery with modern achievements in space. In terms of metal composition, the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar is made of copper-nickel clad, not silver. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This composition was chosen to reduce costs and preserve precious metals, as the United States had largely moved away from circulating silver coinage by the early 1970s. The coin has a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, weighs 22.68 grams, and features a reeded edge, making it one of the largest circulating U.S. coins of the modern era. The mintage of the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar was extremely high, with approximately 92.5 million coins produced at the Denver Mint. Despite this large production, the coin did not see widespread daily use. Many Americans found the Eisenhower dollar too bulky and inconvenient compared to paper currency, and as a result, large quantities remained in storage or were saved by collectors. This limited circulation explains why many 1972 D coins can still be found today in relatively good condition. When discussing collector value, the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar is generally considered a common date. In circulated condition, it usually sells for face value to around $2 US. In uncirculated condition, prices typically range from $3 to $10, depending on strike quality and surface preservation. Higher grade examples, such as MS-65 or better, can reach values of $15 to $40, and exceptionally well-preserved coins certified by professional grading services may sell for higher amounts. Coins with strong luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp details are particularly desirable. Collectors also pay close attention to strike quality and varieties. Eisenhower dollars, especially early 1970s issues, are known for inconsistent strikes. Many 1972 D coins show weakness in Eisenhower's hair details and in the eagle's feathers on the reverse. While the famous 1972 Type II Earth variety is primarily associated with Philadelphia minted coins, Denver issues like the 1972D are still studied for minor die varieties, doubling, and mint errors. Error coins such as off-center strikes, clip planchets, or die cracks can significantly increase a coin's value. From a historical perspective, the 1972D Eisenhower dollar reflects a changing America. It comes from an era marked by the Vietnam War, the space race, and major shifts in the global financial system, including the end of the gold standard. The coin symbolizes American strength, leadership, and technological progress, while also representing the challenges of introducing large-size coins into modern commerce. In conclusion, the United States of America, $1 Liberty, 1972 D mint mark is a Denver-minted Eisenhower dollar made of copper-nickel clad metal, produced in very large numbers, and rich in symbolic meaning. Although it is not rare and generally holds modest monetary value, it remains an important and respected coin for collectors, historians, and anyone interested in U.S. presidential coinage and the story of America in the early 1970s. If you want, I can also prepare this as YouTube voiceover text, coin comparison content, or collector grading guidance next top 3. The 1977 D United States $1 coin, widely known as the Eisenhower dollar or Ike dollar, represents the final chapter of a major era in modern American coinage. Struck at the Denver Mint and identified by the D mint mark on the obverse, this coin was produced near the end of the Eisenhower dollar series, which ran from 1971 through 1978. By 1977, the United States had already realized that large heavy dollar coins were unpopular for everyday use, yet the Eisenhower dollar continued to be minted to meet institutional needs, especially for casinos, banks, and collectors. The 1977 D issue reflects both the persistence of tradition and the growing realization that American coinage was on the verge of significant change. The obverse front of the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar features the familiar left-facing portrait of Dwight David Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and Supreme Allied Commander during World War II. The portrait was designed by Frank Gasparo, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and is one of the most recognizable presidential depictions in American numismatics. Above Eisenhower's head is the word liberty, boldly inscribed to emphasize the enduring American ideal of freedom. Below the portrait is the date 1977, with a D mint mark placed just to the right of the date, clearly indicating Denver Mint production. The motto "I in God we trust" appears near Eisenhower's neckline. The design communicates strength, leadership, and stability, qualities closely associated with Eisenhower's legacy. The reverse, back design of the 1977 D dollar continues the powerful imagery that defines the Eisenhower dollar series. It depicts a bald eagle descending onto the surface of the moon, holding an olive branch in its talons. This iconic image was inspired by the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969, symbolizing American technological achievement and global leadership during the space race. Surrounding the eagle are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies. The inscriptions "United States of America" and $1 frame the design. This reverse unites traditional national symbols with modern space exploration, making the Eisenhower dollar unique among U.S. coins. In terms of metal composition, the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar is made of copper-nickel clad, not silver. The coin consists of outer layers composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition reflects the U.S. Mint's shift away from precious metals for circulating coinage during the late 20th century. The coin has a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, a weight of 22.68 grams, and a reeded edge, making it one of the largest and heaviest modern U.S. coins intended for circulation. The mintage of the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar was approximately 32.9 million coins, a moderate figure compared to earlier Eisenhower dollar issues. Despite this substantial production, the coin saw limited everyday use. By the late 1970s, the public had largely rejected large dollar coins due to their size and inconvenience compared to paper currency. Many 1977 D dollars were stored in Federal Reserve vaults, distributed primarily to casinos, or saved by collectors, which explains why many examples survive today in relatively good condition. When it comes to collector value, the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar is considered a common date within the series. In circulated condition, it typically trades for face value to about $2. In uncirculated condition, prices generally range from $4 to $12, depending on surface quality, strike strength, and luster. Higher grade examples, particularly those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, can command prices in the range of $20 to $50 or more. Coins with clean surfaces, minimal contact marks, and strong details are especially desirable to collectors. Collectors often examine the strike quality of 1977 D Eisenhower dollars, as many Denver-minted examples show weak detail in Eisenhower's hair and the eagle's feathers. While no major famous varieties are associated with a 1977 D issue, minor die varieties, double dies, and mint errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks do exist and can significantly increase the coin's value. Error coins are particularly popular among specialized collectors. From a broader historical perspective, the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar reflects the end of an era. It was struck during a period of economic uncertainty in the United States, following the oil crisis, inflation, and major changes in the global monetary system. Just 1 year later, in 1979, the U.S. Mint would introduce the much smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, officially ending the production of large-sized dollar coins for circulation. In this sense, the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar stands as one of the last representatives of the classic, large American dollar coin tradition. In summary, the United States of America, $1 Liberty, 1977 D mint mark is a Denver-minted Eisenhower dollar made of copper-nickel clad metal, produced in moderate numbers, and rich in historical and symbolic meaning. While it is not rare and holds modest monetary value in most conditions, it remains an important collectible that represents the conclusion of a significant chapter in U.S. coinage history. If you want, I can also convert this into YouTube narration, coin-to-coin comparison, or collector-focused grading and value guides tailored to your channel.